Good morning, and thanks so much for tuning to the trade setup. I'm Neeraj Shah. Let's take stock of all that's happened in the markets in the last uh, 14 to 16 hours. So, firstly, on the global side, the Federal Reserve officials were less united about in the June meeting than the unanimous decision would have suggested, because some favored interest rate increases but went along with the move to leave the policy rate unchanged. The minutes also show some light on how tricky the decision was for policymakers to achieve. Even if even if Fed has left rates unchanged, all officials said that the additional increases would likely be appropriate, with most emphasizing that the post-meeting communication should be essential to convey that message. So it just shows that hikes are coming for sure, never mind the pause that happened in the previous meeting. The global news flow, oil edged higher as traders turned focus to decline in inventories. Gold steadied after the hawkish minutes. China services growth softens in March in the latest data in a fresh sign of weakness. And Donald Trump has raised over $35 million for the quarter despite the legal woes. All eyes 2024. US stocks came off a little bit, not too much, but a little bit for sure. The other cues were steady as they go, so no big changes there per se in any of the major cues except for the yields hardening further. And the gift nifty would indicate a downtick, I would suspect. Even if it indicates a steady move, I would suspect that we'll probably have a bit of a downtick today. Now, um, I think that the trade setup is that there is a consolidation or a corrective move likely, but not a very sharp crack. So that's part one. Now, yesterday, viewers remember that we were talking about how some dealing rooms are talking about uh, buying into the staples. So therefore, it's not surprising that FMCG was the most uh, well-performing index yesterday, 1.82%, and followed by Nifty Auto by virtue of what's happening to the Marutis, Bajaj Autos, and the Hero Motocorps. Um, what is Aisha's loss is Heroes and Bajaj Autos gain, and Maruti's new launch success shows that there is a lot of power there. The stock was up in 5 digits, and that was a bit of a landmark move as well. And brokerages, as I see today, are constructive on Maruti. So maybe, just maybe, the momentum out there could look okay. Dealers continue to stay constructive on auto ancillaries and the power sector, so that's to be monitored as well. Now, amidst all of this, what are the stocks to watch? Just before we get to the stocks to watch, keep in mind that there are some very interesting conversations that have happened on BQ Prime in the last 3 days, and I would urge all of you to try and take stock of those. Alpha Moguls played out yesterday, a fabulous conversation with Samit Vartak. You might want to tune in for that. There was a very nice pointed conversation with Devina Mehra, First Global, on markets kya lagta hai. I want to tune in for that. And excuse me for the throat. I have written a small piece on Abki Bar Nifty 50,000. You might want to read that as well. I kind of extrapolate what numbers show and what numbers can show all the way to 2033 or 34. So some interesting work done at our end, and you might want to tune in for some of that. Now, stocks to watch in the session today. Adani Wilmar Q1 update. The volume growth of 25% led by strong demand in both food and edible oil categories. The sales value was lower by 15%, reflecting the sharp drop in the edible oil prices. But the food and FMCG segment recorded a volume growth of 20%, and edible oil business grew 25% in volume terms. It fell about 15% in terms of value growth. I suspect that this might be viewed positively for Adani Wilmar. Now, standard disclosure, Adani Group owns 49% stake in Quintillion Business Media, which is the owner of BQ Prime, which is the platform on which you're watching this broadcast. MARICO Q1 update, not as straightforward and slam dunk as Adani Wilmar. Chalk and cheese. Now, what is chalk? Domestic volumes grew just in low single digits, with a minor volume drop in parachute coconut oil, and consolidated revenue in the quarter declined in low single digits. The cheese, well, gross margin expected to expand materially on a YOY and QOQ basis. Expansion in operating margins is expected to drive double-digit growth in the bottom line, and uh, they expect a visible pickup from the coming quarter in primary volume growth. So do watch out for MARICO. Uh, I suspect that if it starts off lower, it might see some bit of buying. So be mindful of that. Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, total deposits grew 44%, 4% QOQ. CASA rose 27% QOQ to 6,550 crores. CASA ratio 24.6 versus 26.4. And advances up 31% and 5% QOQ to 25,346 crores. Watch out for Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. Um, GCPL an overweight rating with a target price of 1099 from Morgan Stanley on their Q1 delivery. They say that delivered high digits in organic volume growth, 6% in fourth quarter, teens value growth in constant currency, and close to double-digit sales growth in INR terms. Including RCCL, revenue growth will be in double digits. Overall EBITDA expected to be strong. Q1 will have the exceptional stamp duty expense relating to RCCL transaction. But here's the deal, right? For a FMCG company to have such a strong volume growth and most certainly better EBITDA pricing would mean that the earnings on GCPL will be strong. Do watch out. Now, viewers do remember at the start of June or at the start of July rather, um, I had put out on the trade setup that empirical data suggested that this period, the monsoon period, most FMCG stocks in particular Dabur, but most FMCG stocks have a positive return uh, in all of the last 11 years, except for El Nino years, and Dabur is at a positive return even in the El Nino years. So watch out for FMCG. It doesn't surprise me at all that there is some uptick here. Then Tata Power, it's bagged a 1744 crore contract for a smart metering project in Raipur. Do watch out for this. Smart metering companies are going through some very good times. Genus Power, a case in point. Watch out for Tata Power. It's a small one for Tata Power relative to what it means for Genus, but still, watch out for this one. Bombay Dyeing, the stock was active yesterday already, but Business Standard says that the company may sell the Worli land parcel for 5,000 crores. Adani Green will mull a fundraising proposal today, and Bombay Stock Exchange will consider a share buyback plan. What if the price is much higher than 750? That is what rumor mills are saying. That may help the stock, so do watch out for that one. Watch out for Bajaj Auto. Morgan Stanley has an overweight note, a target price of 5063. They say in a bull case, they expect Triumph launch to add 466 rupees per share. FY25 PE is 17 times versus 10-year median of 18 times. Stock remains the preferred two-wheeler play for Morgan Stanley. So do watch out for that one. Just before we wrap up, there are some constructive notes. So Piramal Enterprise, there is a block deal to be watched out for, 60 lakh shares at about a 2% discount. So that's to be kept in mind. Jeffries has a note on Godrej Properties, a buy rating with a target price raised to 1850. They believe a lot of positives will come in for that one. So do watch out for that. And there are some brokerage notes, like I mean, I mentioned a couple of them, but do watch out for uh, Eicher Motors. There is a sharp downgrade from Phillip Capital, obviously on the enhanced competitive scenario. Watch out for OMCs. Jeffries said that this quarter will be the strongest for oil marketing companies, IGL and GAIL, and that seems to be a bit of a consensus. So that's to be kept in mind as well. There's some queries about uh, paper stocks. Frankly, I'm not quite clued in, Pawan, so you'll have to excuse me for that. And just before we wrap up, remember I was talking about the FMCG piece. So Virat has dug out this 11-year data. It's from MK. So FMCG stocks returns for the 2 months of June and July indicate optimism. Dabur has given positive return in each of the last 11 years. HUL, Marico, GCPL, and Tata Consumer have given negative returns only during the El Nino years. Quite a statistic, this. Thanks, Virat, for that. And viewers, thanks for tuning into this leg of trade setup. Like I said, a clutch of very interesting conversations have happened all through this week. Today, we'll be talking to Anirudh Sarkar on Talking Point. and of course, the trade talk conversations with these experts at these times. Um, Try and tune into Alpha Moguls. We played it out yesterday. It's a very promising conversation with Samit Vartak of Sage One, so you might want to see that as well. Thanks for tuning into the Trade Center.